Ready Check Radio. What's up, Internet? It's Thursday, it's 7 p.m. Eastern. That means here on Ready Check Radio, it's time for the Relic Grind, our Final Fantasy XIV Square Enix podcast. Yeah, that's right. Let's do this. I'm Mike Byrne, a.k.a. Magic Man, your host as always. Thank you for joining us. If you're in chat live, awesome. If you can't make it live, we'd love to see you here sometime. Head on over to ReadyCheckRadio.com. You'll see all the socials in the upper right-hand corner. If you're watching on YouTube, listening on iTunes, Spotify, Audible, wherever podcasts are distributed, thank you so much. Click like, click subscribe, turn on those notifications, leave a review, comment, all the stuff that feeds algorithms. But most importantly, if you like what we do here, tell a friend. It's a great way to support us. It's fast, it's easy, it's cheap. And we have the London Live Letter in the bag. Joining me to talk about all of the fun stuff, Mr. Chris Montoya, a.k.a. Tarkoth. What's up, sir?
Greetings, programs. It's all that hype news. Well, maybe not so hype. A lot of stuff that we expected, but hey, no news. Good news is some news. I'm so confused. Move along.
Less confused, Mr. Paul Berlin, a.k.a. Flynn. What's up, boss?
I come from across the pond reporting from the country next to where FanFest was.
Yes.
Excited. Been too many weeks. Let's talk.
It has. Tark, how's the new job going? Hold on, while I adjust Flynn's camera there a little bit since he kind of sat down. He kind of sat down a little bit. There we go. That's all. So yeah, shows, by the way, for the Relic Grind will be a little like hit and miss as far as the 7 o'clock hour, right? Like might be 7:15, stuff like that. Shouldn't be any big shakeups, but Tark, you do have a new job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We took advantage of that and some slow weeks in news to let you adjust and go through training and figure things out to see if we'd have to make any big changes. Looks like at least right now we probably won't have to do that. So that's good. But if we're a couple minutes late here and there starting a show, forgive us as Tark gets acclimated to his new job. How's it going, though?
It's going good. The schedule is I'm getting like 1 week schedule at a time, maybe 2 weeks. So it's all kind of like up in the air. And my location that I'm going to be permanently at doesn't even open until January. So it's all chaotic right now. But work with us here a little bit. Again, if you're following us on Twitter, you'll know, hey, the show's going to start 15 minutes late this day. It's going to start 15 minutes early so that we can get Tark out. Like you'll know what's going on if you're following on Twitter. But should be too much of a shakeup. Of course, holidays coming up, so don't expect a show on Thanksgiving on that Thursday, and then obviously Christmas and New Year's and stuff. So there'll be some weeks without shows, but those are generally normally scheduled outages here on Ready Check Radio anyway. So shouldn't be anything huge, but bear with us while we start figuring out Tark's schedule over the course of the next couple of months leading into the new year. Gents, of course, we did have the Final Fantasy XIV live FanFest live from London. FanFest 2 of 3. We still have the Japanese one to go, and then it's the really long wait until Dawn Trail from there on. Now, I agree with you, Tark. As far as top of the show, the keynote being the most important thing as far as new news, right? Yeah. There's lots of fun stuff going on if you're there, but as far as news for the globe, that mainly comes out of the keynote. And this time around, we did get, of course, the new trailer, the extended teaser trailer. So some bits and bobs thrown into the trailer we previously had from the Las Vegas Fan Fest. What'd you see in here that maybe makes you perk up an eyebrow? Because really, I'm going to say the only real big thing in here that's readily noticeable is the job they revealed at the London Fan Fest is showcased in this extended trailer a little bit, so you can see why it was edited out in Vegas. So not Nutkin.
Well, I mean Nutkin, Nutkin.
Clearly,
he's
a
adorable thing that got tweeted around everywhere.
And we got some Estinian love, so that was cool.
You mean Estinian thirst trap? If you go through the Twitter feeds,
thirst trap, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had
a wet Estinian and Twitter went
right?
crazy.
Well, I mean, they already kind of started teeing that up with Estinian in the whole Golbez chain during the dressing room workout moment with Zero, of course, not Zero offering to strip down as well. And needless to say, everybody said, no, it's going to be fine. You can just go ahead.
Totally not needed.
You can go ahead and leave that on. I still, Flynn, I don't know. Maybe it's me. The trailer still doesn't get me. And I think I said this on the Las Vegas one too. It's, of course, nice to see some of the visual upgrades, right? Because we know that that's part of what's coming. So it's neat to see some of those in action in cinematics. Not that I'm not excited for the expansion or anything. I certainly am. I'm always excited for an expansion. But I think it's still just missing that je ne sais quoi, right? That
gravity, that weight to it.
Right, that kind of weight of we know where things ended, and so let's pick up where the danger ended. We don't have that here. We're essentially seeing the equivalent of a Realm Reborn trailer, right, where we don't know what we're getting into, but we don't have that anticipation of a Realm Reborn being something new that we had back then. It's kind of in its own odd little place for me.
It's reminded me of Stormblood a lot. Like the initial trailers for Stormblood, it's like, oh, this is all cool. We're trading on a fist, or we're in a Japanese-inspired city. It's like there's no danger, no presence, and that's what these two trailers feel like. It's like, yeah, this is still our beach episode. It's like, all right, where's the
literally
meat of what's going to happen?
It's a weird spot to try and make a trailer for, right? You want to hype up the new, Tark, without giving the new away. That's kind of a weird spot for a trailer creator.
Yeah, it's trying to get some excitement in the new, but you don't know what it is. So it's like, I feel like this is like, with the MCU, like they had troubles adjusting to a whole new narrative, a new plot line, new threads to follow, but like they couldn't give anything away. And that's what we got here. It's like, be hyped for this, but what is it? I don't know. Everyone's just seems to be having a good time. Is that what we're having? We're just here to hang out and have fruit and tacos and more minions? Yes, more minions. Please, more
Baron
minions.
says the mouse stealing the nuts has to be stopped. That's the next big bad. I totally agree.
Clearly.
I totally agree. This is unacceptable and must stop. Nutkin lore.
Yeah, it's something that got shared out, and I can't remember what the law is. There was
I think it just might be one of those things, like after you've played through it, you go back and watch the trailer and you're like, that. I am hyped. The trailer is nice. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful. I do enjoy it. It just doesn't have me as pumped for, I cannot wait to see what Dawn Trail has to offer, like I was going into, say, Endwalker, or going back further, Heavensward, right? Heavensward was a big one where you saw the trailers, Tark, and you were just like, oh, let's go.
Dragons, let's go. Yeah, it was conflict, and everything about it was just...
Say what you will about the expansion itself. We're speaking solely about the trailer.
Just to quickly go back to the Nutkin, I did find it from the Minion Guide. Inspired by the words of Millenth Ironheart, the Styrian squirrel longs to travel the realm in search of the legendary golden acorn. So, yeah, we're looking for an acorn, folks.
Yeah, we're going to go find it. That's what the map is. That's what the map is.
In the middle of the Golden City. That's right. Is that that why?
Take a look at this map. Where is this golden acorn? That's what we want to know. Of course, we did know going into this that, hey, we're probably going to see one of the job reveals, kind of par for the course. Like we're in a 14 pattern now after 10 years for all of this stuff. We did get one job reveal here in London. It is the melee DPS that we were expecting in the Viper. Bit of a dual wielder that also has the ability to combine said two weapons into one weapon for other abilities. Tark, as somebody who has dabbled in the melee DPS a little more than I, what do you think?
I'm not sure why we needed another sword job, I guess.
Well, you needed somebody to take that ninja gear slot, is what happened.
Well, yeah, but I think it just I don't know. I think the choice of weapon, it's kind of cool that it's dual wield. It's nice to have another dual wield. The fact that they can combine together for like a Darth Maul-esque weapon is pretty sweet. I kind of wish it was just that, but it is what it is, and I can kind of already see. All right, we're building a gauge, and then we switch stances to the pole, and then we expend that gauge in bigger moves. So it's kind of already playing out like I think it's going to.
So much for like the pirate, or I know some people were saying
Corsair.
Corsair, although that does tend to use guns, so maybe
There
that
are
still
still
could be the
some
play
hints.
as far as the range goes, but we'll see.
Still
Go ahead,
some
Flip.
internet. His outfit is very Edward Kenway from Black Flag.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's
in terms of
fair.
weapons, it is very Zidane Treble from 9.
True.
With going from his daggers into the thief blades. Because I had to remember this earlier. The rune of weapon in Final Fantasy IX is also known as the Viper. So nice little nod. And in this as well, there's a connection to 12. When he goes into that blue gauge, the way he stands with the sword spread apart is Gabram's stance in the Final Fantasy XII logo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I totally missed the whole Zidane comparison. So.
Well, it's
That was my immediate
dual wielding
as soon as they connect, it's like, oh yeah, that's it.
I did too, but then that also kind of brought up like the question of like how much different does that make it from Rogue? Like if you take the walk down the Zidane kind of route, one, he's a thief, and then how does that really differ from the way Rogue is implemented? Then you see it's using the ninja gear set, and I don't know.
It seems very ninja-ish. Yeah.
There's something to be said for wanting Final Fantasy XIV to introduce new classes, right? There's certainly something to be said there. But I think there's just as equally something to be said, Tark, for implement classes people are asking for, right? Like, you do so much to cater to the broad, more casual player base to begin with. Why do we not seem to do it here? Why do we take previous Final Fantasy classes and give them a different name for really no good reason in some cases, or kind of just go off on this little beaten path? It just seems a little weird to me that you don't get fan favorite classes in a game that predominantly caters to the casual Final Fantasy player. Rightfully so. It's the bulk of their paying player base. I can't bitch about that. But then you get like, okay, we're going to go with the Viper. Okay, sure. Let's see what this has to offer. And we don't have any idea on abilities or anything besides the flash of some of them. So I'm never really generally into melee DPS. Like if I'm doing melee, I'm tanking. And then when it comes to everything else, I'm either healing or ranged magical typically. Occasionally I dabble. I'll tell you this, like my Dark Knight, literally, I still have the quest in my quest log to go to Cutter's Cry. Like that's how long I played Dark Knight. Like 3 quests to unlock the job was basically all I did. It's just not my preferred play style. If I'm going to get in there and get dirty, I'm going to probably tank. I don't have my Dragoon at max level. I don't have Monk at max level. I'm not going to get this to max level. So I'm really now holding out for the next class to really appeal to me. I don't know if it will or not, but that's what I'm hoping for.
Which apparently is still being referenced by that same shirt of the Turtles.
Yeah. right.
So 1 shirt, 2 jobs, huh?
I mean, even the surprise towards the end, maybe that's also referenced by the shirt too, in a way.
Yeah, and honestly, when I heard that news, I'm kind of like, oh. We'll get to that in a few seconds. We'll get to that in just a little bit. We did get a preview. I guess preview is a strong word. We did get some screenshots and some art of dungeons that will be appearing in Dawn Trail. So we kind of have like a very Swiss Family Robinson trip down the Amazon type look dungeon here, and I'll flip back and forth between these screenshots as the two of you give opinions, and then something very like reminiscent, for at least for me, of like a Heaven's Word, Ishgardian Fortress, Crystals type environment. So undeniably gorgeous, right? I'm not gonna fight those, but I'm also not holding out a lot of hope for like anything super new on the dungeon front.
They fit the formula at this point.
Yeah. I think it's just funny that during these they're like, dungeon? Yeah, dungeon. Dungeon? Question mark?
Dungeon? Question mark?
Yeah. So during this, I was on comms with a few of the FC buddies, and all of us went, "Oh, so we're going on a dinner with Dwayne the Rock Johnson, are we?" During the first one for the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, it does look very Jungle Cruise-ish. Yeah, it kind of looks like we're gonna go the same route as the one of the most recent dungeons, right? Where you're on the train. Yeah, where you're on the train at the beginning, and you just kind of fight a lot of things. Looks like very similar to what we're going to be doing here, just a different locale. Yeah, you know. I realize that I'm like sounding negative about the keynote, and it's not that I have a negative perception of the keynote. I liked everything I saw. I just wasn't blown away by anything. Like there was no shock, there was no surprise besides, oh, you're naming it Viper? Oh, okay. Sure. You know, I wasn't shocked in what the class offered. I was a little more surprised that it wasn't just more mainstream Final Fantasy class. Everything else was just kind of, okay, yeah.
It was kind of like a live letter. Yeah, we're getting a new raid. Yeah, we're getting a new 24-man.
A bit of the issue with us. They are very formulaic, so those of us who have been around long enough know exactly what we're going into. And also, because they're just like, we want to be secret about everything, it's just like,
that's the thing, too. Let me ask you this. It's a little bit of a sidebar. If we're all kind of feeling the same way, the keynote did what the keynote was supposed to do. It delivered the information and gave us some screenshots of stuff. We can't wait to play it. We are pumped for it, but it didn't blow us away. It didn't like shock and awe us or anything. Is there a downside to being as formulaic as 14 is? Or is that what most of the audience wants out of an MMO? I want to know what I'm going to get on a consistent schedule. There's no surprises. We don't have like World of Warcraft dropping an expansion that then only has 2 big updates in it because things went awry. Like, you're not going to get that here, but you know what you're going to get on the clock you're going to get, and we're not really going to deviate from the pattern much. Is that a net good when you're talking about millions of players, most of which are going to be a little more casual than us? Or is that a bad thing, a good thing for them, but a bad thing for us as those more voracious players? Is it a net good or a net bad to be that formulaic?
Oh, net. Like, it's good and bad. Like, we're getting the same standard of content that we've expected. I mean, I don't feel like the quality of the content that we're been getting for expansion after expansion has gone down at all, in my opinion. I think raids have gotten better, 24-mans have gotten better. We got dungeons are dungeons. We've gone about that ad nauseum, but we've gotten Criterion dungeons, which I've been excited about.
Absolutely, and a great thing.
Like the content itself is great. There's no reason to repeatedly do it, so that's another situation which they're going to address apparently. But it's also a downside because there's nothing to really get excited about other than new expansion, and then that's it. So I would love to see, hey, we've got a new big piece of content. We hope you're gonna like it. This is a preview of it. Maybe that's something that come in Japan. I don't know.
Said they're doing a new Bajra style content.
Yeah, they're gonna do a Bajra, which is great. I think that was missing.
They did allude to we're gonna change the way we do deep dungeons.
Yeah, deep dungeon. We're gonna have a Bajra exploratory zone, so that's good. I think that was really missing, something to sink your teeth into, away from the main raid progression system. So I'm excited to see that, but if we know from past histories, we might not get that till 6.2, 6.3. So yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird,
seven
Flynn. I
point.
find myself like having to always like stop in my head and say, you know, right? Yeah, I'm longtime sub of the game. Yeah, love the game, love the content and everything, and do love the flexibility of, hey, I happen to run through the content a little faster than most, and so I run through the content, and then I have X number of weeks to just go do whatever the hell I want, not even have to worry about Final Fantasy XIV besides, you know, maybe go do some dailies if there's a new beast tribe and I'm just grinding out that reputation. You know, whatever the case may be on those little odds and end grinds, the ones I do versus the ones that I don't do. There is something to be said for those being a good thing. But when you are advertising an expansion, right? The idea is not just to please the people that are still playing in 6.5 and 6.5.5 and 6.5.5.3 and 6.5.5.8 micro patches, right? It's to, hey, I want to get the ones that stopped after 6.1 back, even if it's just for 2 months while they burn through a new expansion, get to the new level cap of 100, and kick off the new main story. I'm not really sure if 14 has done that yet.
Yeah.
If you're a lapsed player, I don't know, besides maybe one thing, which we're going to talk about in a second, I don't know if you've seen anything from the FanFest that makes you go, damn it, I got to get back in when Dawn Trail comes out. I don't know.
Outside of me just being, I'm here for story and staying, it doesn't grab me. But I feel like, I think as you've been talking, like when we had it in Endwalker, we just had one big keynote. Everything was there. It was a bigger, hyper experience. And going back to, okay, we're splitting it back into 3 over 9 months. It just feels discombobulated again with trying to get people hype. If that makes sense.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's weird. Like I go, yeah, I want things to be consistent, but then I'm like, well, I'd like to be surprised now and then, too.
Yeah, but think
which is so contradictory, right?
If we just had our one keynote to draw in new players that said, here's our 8-man, here's our 24-man, here's our exploration content, here's what else we got planned, having it all in one big blast, and then the FanFest just be for the fans actually have more consoles to do those fun trial experiences where they have random rule sets in dungeons and actually make it for the fans rather than
rather than as an information dump. You know, treat it as, and they do, right? For the most part, FanFest is absolutely for the fans that are there at the event. Like, we're talking literally about an hour and a half, 2 hours at the very beginning of the entire multi-day fest. This is not a slam of their fests. We had slams of their fest in North America and some issues that the fest had in its execution, but not necessarily the content there for fans that were there. I kind of agree with you. Maybe the fan fests themselves don't need to include announcements.
Yeah.
And I know that they wouldn't want to go to, hey, we'll dump everything at one fan fest, because then it becomes a, well, will it be in North America? Will it be at London? Will it be in Japan? And you know what? Just do one expansion 3-hour live letter, not at any of the fan fests. You know, do it in between 2 of them. I don't know.
Well, they could always have the fan fest then to, like, we've got our big keynote, and instead of just a media tour, why not make that media tour the fan fest? People getting to try the new jobs before the expansion, trying out a new dungeon, trying out one of the trials, and get the hype that way when everyone can experience it. Guy, during this keynote, Preach went for to his first fan fest, and when he was going over the graphic update, he had disappeared, and he was saying he felt bad because he knew he could just walk out, go to the bathroom, come back, and not miss a single thing because he knows he'll be talking about the graphics update for another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's not what you want your keynote to be. You want your audience to be raptured by everything that's been.
I think it's just a time for a change in the cycle.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Just a change in the cycle to spice things up, because it is so formulaic now that, I mean, honestly, I did not personally stay up and watch either of the keynotes. I didn't. Hell, one of them was in my country, and I still didn't watch it at noon
your time.
and I still didn't watch it live. I literally waited for it to complete, and then I went back, put it on YouTube, and just like you said, Flynn, I knew almost exactly how many times to click that 30-second button on every single thing. See this in a trailer? Okay, let me read your slide. Let me click it once. No new slide. Okay, I'm going to click it 3 times, and now we're on to the next topic. Like, it hasn't been that way in past expansions, and maybe some of that is,
I was a birdie to count as well.
I'm so ingrained in it, but like I don't know. If I was there, I would probably feel very different. But then you're in the, like, Tark, when you were in Vegas, it's a very different feeling, right? You're there for different reasons. Yeah, you're going to go watch the keynote, but you're not there to watch the keynote. You're there to go shake hands with Yoshi P and Soken and Koji Fox, and then talk to these 3 content creators that you're a fan of, and say hi, and then hang out with your free company or the friends that you went with, and go try out a trial. Like, you're there to do. And then, by the way, we're going to go to the concert tonight, and we're going to get hammered, and we'll wake up at noon tomorrow. Like, you're there for a totally different experience.
Out of the 2 keynotes, I think the most exciting thing that they even announced out of both, if you put them together, was just the Xbox announcement. And that's not anything new to the game. That's just the game coming to another platform.
Yep, beta coming up in early 2024, by the way, if you're looking for the beta there. Okay, so I did earlier say there wasn't anything that really blew me away, and I guess I should retract that a little bit, because I didn't see this coming. I saw the people that would probably be involved, but I didn't know where they were gonna take it. And that is the Alliance raid, the 24-person. And this is what we have, just this screenshot. Echoes of Vana'diel, Final Fantasy XI, in alliance with Final Fantasy XI. I cannot wait to see what they do here. This did give me that, I can't wait for this moment. Now, I will fully recognize that to feel that way, you have to feel a certain way about a 20-year-old MMO. If you never played 11, Tark, I know you dabbled in it recently, trying to just get a feel for it. But
I got to 45.
Yeah. But you don't have the history with this. This isn't one of your first ones. So I could see somebody like you going, oh, that's cool. Where somebody like me is like, yes. Now, what bosses will we see? That's a question right there. That's a question. What bosses will we see?
Everyone that I talked to that plays alone was like, oh, it's got to be Shadow Lord, right?
Well, yeah, Shadow Lord, I think, has to be there. But obviously, we have four potential targets here, right? in each of the segments, so there's gonna be ample room for bosses. Shadow Lord, I think, has to be there. Then you start getting into some other ones, like, well, Absolute Virtue's already in 14.
Is it? Yeah.
Absolute Virtue's already.
The last bit of Eureka.
Oh, Baldesion.
Yeah. So that one's already there. Otherwise, I'd agree with you. Maybe Pandemonium Warden, which is a very notorious monster in Final Fantasy XI. So there are some ones that I'm like, I would really like to see that. If you don't like 11, wow, this announcement sucked for you. It's kind of like when you saw Ivalice was going to be it, and you weren't a Tactics or 12 fan. Like, it's hit and miss with these alliance raids.
Near too.
Yeah, exactly. Or whether you like the content or not. I'm so looking forward to this. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how they tackle this. We did have the last show we did, I think, because we mentioned, Sakaguchi is part of the panel. It's like,
yeah.
They mentioned more Final Fantasy than Mr. Realm. Well, I think this counts, right?
This counts to me. Yes,
and we've already had the
Final Fantasy XI Virtue or something. Okay,
we've had Final Fantasy XI crossover already. We've got no reason why 11 could be involved.
Yes.
Who's
Take the
Lala?
opportunity to sub them together now, please.
Shantoto.
Get them off.
Get this line from Shantoto that
Play
is,
online.
you
Oh my
expect
God.
me not to have magic to cross time and space and interdimensional rifts?
Yeah. If we
It's
don't get a
we've already got
Shantoto, like,
more by this can happen.
Another little, this one got a huge thumbs up, but literally this, what I'm showing you here is all we know about it. Like that's it. We also, like, as far as other little teasers, we got this picture of a boss of some type. There you go.
This screamed Final Fantasy VIII to me in design.
Enjoy the Eliminator right there.
Eliminator.
One of the other kind of surprises, right? I didn't see this one coming. I honestly
didn't
did
either.
not.
This is what surprised me.
We're getting another limited job. Now it'll be somewhere later in the 7 dot line, right? So it's going to be like a dot 3, dot 4, dot 5, you know, right at the end there.
Yeah, they did say the later stages.
Yeah, it's going to be the back half. So sometime 7.3 or later. We are getting another limited job. I honestly, after the reception of Blue Mage, I honestly didn't think they were going to explore this route again.
Yeah. It's also been a case of, it's something we've wanted to hear what feedback they've heard for a couple of years now. It's like, you're so quiet on this front. Let us know if, reception's good enough that we might pursue it more. It's just been so quiet. Oh, here's an update once in the blue moon.
Yeah, obviously
okay, thanks.
The usual suspects have arrived in this discussion too, Beastmaster and jobs like that, where, again, just like Blue Mage, right?
Yeah, the two that got name dropped at this time.
Yeah, you're messing with abilities or creatures in the world, and so that becomes a little real difficult to balance in a 4-person party, 8-person party type format, so let's make it its own limited job. I don't know. It's one of those things that I'm like, look, I don't have access to the metrics, Flynn. There might be like 2.5 million level capped blue mages. And so they know, hey, this is worth working on. Honestly, though, it's one of those ones that without access to those numbers, I'm kind of like, did this really warrant resources to be put on to another limited job? I don't know.
I enjoy Blue Mage, but it's one of those ones like, you need to give players more. You can't just give a small update. We got a new carnival stage. Whoopee! You promised us a lot with the limited jobs, and you need to deliver, whether it's being able to actually group up for limited job exclusive roulettes or shit, you know? It needs to be something there now. Especially if you add in the second one, give us something more to keep us on the hook to try these out. Make your resources worth it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a weird one. A little bit of a weird one for me. What else? Yoshi P still wants to do a crossover with Diablo 4, or with Diablo in general. He also is open to World of Warcraft. He's made like all this abundantly clear, right? In multiple interviews and live letters. Yeah, I like Blizz. Let's do something. Of course, BlizzCon coming next week, so we'll see what World of Warcraft has to offer for its next expansion pretty soon too. I don't think we're ever going to see a World of Warcraft Final Fantasy crossover. I think Final Fantasy would be willing to do it. I really just don't see a benefit for either of them to be willing to do it, right? You're advertising a direct competitor. Diablo, maybe a little more likely, particularly with now Phil Spencer at the helm, right?
Yep.
With the Microsoft Activision Blizzard merger done, maybe something's a little more likely to happen. It'll be interesting to watch on that front.
I mean, we're getting one crossover, right?
Well, the Fall 16? Guys one?
16?
Oh, yeah, the 16 one. Yeah, Fall Guys, by the way, is Tuesday. So that kicks off on Tuesday. I really am
excited for that.
I am as well.
Me too.
But yeah,
and then, the Final Fantasy 16 one. Flynn, you added something here. What did you add?
What did I add? Yes.
I don't know. Something from Reddit.
Oh, it was the press interviews that came up after. So it was for Mitsu, a couple of UK publishers, Mioni. But yeah, it was.
There really wasn't anything in the interviews.
We've got a new Kagani-style tower that's over in Terrell. He's got his basic story ideas for 8 to 9, but please don't ask him.
Yeah, don't talk about the 11 Alliance raid. We're still talking to the 11 team about bosses.
Yokai coming back. If you want to see 15 again, please bug them. They want the feedback. And Dawn Trail being heavily influenced by 11 as well. Like, this is all like shrunken wording of the comments. But one thing that wasn't on the air that they are working after 7.0 is chat bubbles.
Great.
No one had to get banned for this, but chat bubbles are coming.
Oh, chat bubbles.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, going around,
I thought you said something else.
5 different people asked Yoshi about increasing the tombstone cap. It went from I'll send it back to the dev team to maybe to no. To everything in between. So can't trust him.
I still cannot understand why that hasn't happened yet for a game that so aggressively suggests playing all classes on one character. Like, it's so almost anti-designed for mules or alts that the tombstone cap just makes it easier to play alts and gear them up.
Because how many jobs we got up to now? 21?
I think it's like 143. Like somewhere.
Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere around there. Viper makes 144 when it gets here.
Fisher limited job, right?
144. Yeah.
By the way, guys, before we completely leave FanFest, did you guys check out any of the other panels?
No.
I managed to watch all of them. The quiz game one was very interesting. Some of the questions was silly. Like, how many beats are there in Papaya before it loops? And one I think you'd enjoy, Talk, is which of the Knights 12 appears to the right during the ad phase of the SR Ultimate?
Whatever.
Yeah, you just think, having that on stage being presented to you as a live quiz show. But Sakaguchi
that was awesome.
events, those are worth watching. Seeing Sakaguchi chase Yoshi P with tank busters constantly, it was glorious.
Yeah, Yoshi P, kind of reduced to tears a little bit there too.
Right at the end,
conversations with Sakaguchi-san. Yeah, that was nice to see. Yeah, I mean, it was a good fan fest. It didn't blow my mind. I'm super excited for the 11 Alliance raid, but I am fully ready to admit that requires a special love for a totally different game to be as excited for that as I am. I know.
So
I know my boy.
Right?
I know my boy Fusion is got to be super interested in that.
Yeah, so no party finder going to the hub city, shouting for the group, and that's the only way you go in, right?
No.
The funny thing is before you even see it, it's a whole nother year before you see that Alliance raid. So
I know. I know, right? Yeah. Like, the most excited thing that I am for the expansion so far, I'm not going to see until months after the expansion. Yeah. Son of a bitch! I can't catch a break here.
Well, it's potentially a Christmas event for you next year. Here's your Christmas present of a 24-man of 11.
In other Square Enix news, sorry, I got audio trying to play on this damn page. TheGamer.com put up a top 10 list. Here we go, gents.
Oh, boy.
This one's weird. Like, we don't have to go through every single one here because some of this is like overlap, but they did a 10 best Square Enix games on the PS5, the PlayStation 5. And so when I initially saw the list, the name of the list, and this was like 3 days ago, I was like, that's actually an interesting list because you're pulling from a really limited base of product. So, I mean, what, are you taking the 10 Square Enix PlayStation 5 games and just ranking them 1 through 10? I'm kind of interested in this. They cheated, though.
They cheated.
They
I
absolutely
didn't look this time because you've asked us in previous times.
You didn't look? Okay, good.
No.
I will tell you that
still haven't got it up either.
Tark, did you look?
I just saw 10 and I'm like, they cheated. I saw 10 and I'm like, they cheated.
Yeah, okay. So they they cheated here. It's not technically PlayStation 5, even though that's what the title is. Now, whether the games were made from the ground up for the PlayStation 5 or accessible on the PlayStation 5 as a PS4 game,
Yeah,
they made the list.
they cheated.
Yeah.
They really cheated.
Pixel Media Master isn't even on 5. It's 4. It's a PlayStation 4 game.
But through the PlayStation 5 store, you can download the PS4 version. That's what I'm guessing.
Accessible as a PS4 game. Number 10, Trials of Mana. All right, put it wherever the hell you want, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight you too much. Number 9, Neo, The World Ends With You. And keep in mind, this is just Square Enix as a whole. 8, Life is Strange 2 True Colors.
Yeah.
I'd probably put the original, right? I'd probably put the original, though, right?
Because it's available. Yeah, the original. Because it's available on PS4 via PS5. There, yeah.
Octopath Traveler 2 comes in at number 7. I can't argue with that.
I'd put it higher, but yeah, that's amazing.
6, Live Alive.
Okay.
5, Kingdom Hearts 3.
Nope. I'm out.
I'm out. He's like done.
And I'm going to stop right there. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are left. I won't make you guess where it is, Tark, but can you give me one of the 4 titles in the top 4? Just to recap for you quickly. Number 10 was Trials of Mana. 9 is Neo, The World Ends With You. 8, Life is Strange 2 True Colors. 7, Octopath Traveler 2. 6, Live Alive. 5, Kingdom Hearts 3. Best Square Enix titles on the PlayStation 5 or accessible on the PS5 through PS4. Just give me one game name.
Okay, I can give you 7 Remake.
7 Remake. Do you think 7 Remake is in the top 4 there, Flynn?
I'm half expecting you to tell me Tomb Raider's there somewhere. That's where my brain is.
No, but I'm just asking, do you think 7 Remake is in the top 4?
I reckon it'll be an OG 7 over Remake.
Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is number 1. Number 1.
All right.
So, Flynn, you got 2, 3, and 4 left. Give me a game.
Tomb Raider.
Do you think Tomb Raider, any of them, we won't be ultra specific here, Tark, is in that 2, 3, or 4 spot?
No.
It is not.
I don't.
It is not.
Because we found one of these lists out of...
Give me a game, Tark. Fill them in, baby.
Oh, 16. 16 just came out.
16. Is 16 on this list, Flynn?
3rd.
It's 4th. It's on the list at 4th.
Okay.
You know, the only mainline Final Fantasy made specifically for the PlayStation 5 is in 4th. So, and maybe you say, hey, you know, Final Fantasy VII Remake, yeah, okay, I kind of get that beating 16 as far as like global sales and, you know, whatever. I am kind of stunned, honestly, with 2 and 3 beating Final Fantasy 16. Flynn, I'll give you another shot.
I'll go with the Cala Chat for Spoken.
For what?
Forspoken?
Ooh. Get the fuck out of here. What are you smoking?
No.
Forspoken being on this list.
It's on PS5.
2 and 3? No.
That's not even in the top 50 PlayStation 5 games,
You
let
put
alone
Kingdom
Square.
Hearts 3 there. Come on now. You put Kingdom Hearts 3 there, the rules go out the window.
You're up again, Tark. Forspoken's not on this list.
Okay, I'm gonna
like the word Forspoken doesn't even appear on this page.
It's a good game.
Even in the small text, it's not in there. Battlefield, no.
This will be the last guess.
No.
Tark, you came in with 2 out of 4 of them so far.
I don't think there's any more PlayStation 5, so I got to go PlayStation 4. What are some of the best PlayStation 4s? Let's go with Pixel Remaster.
Nope, not on the list. Number 2, Nier Automata. Number 3, Dragon Quest XI: Echoes of an Elusive Age.
I mean, great games. Both great games.
Oh, both outstanding games, but better than Final Fantasy 16. the only Final Fantasy mainline title made exclusively for the PlayStation 5 on a list that doesn't advertise until the second paragraph that it's not tied to just PlayStation 5 games. What a ridiculous list. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous.
I don't know. Speaking of 7 Remake, by the way, the devs do kind of say that they have a surprise planned for the most iconic scene. You know what I'm talking about in Final Fantasy VII. Since we know that the next release goes through the Forgotten Capital, and that's where shit kind of goes down. It's where Disc 1 ended way back in the day. Yeah. They
You
say
said
that
iconic, and my brain went to my date with Barrett. I was like, come on, that's the best.
No. Naoki Hamaguchi saying to all the gamers regarding the you-know-what moment in the Forgotten Capital, we can confirm that we will give you a big surprise so you can look forward to later in the game. Tark, what do they got up their sleeves for this one?
He lives. That's the only
can't
big
be,
surprise.
It has to be.
that
We're in the Bronte storyline. She has to live to reset this timeline.
Why would you say anything about the end of this game? Like, just don't. Just leave it alone and let us enjoy it and experience it for ourselves. Why you got to throw this out there? Like, and to say it's a surprise, like everybody knows, like that has a vested interest in 7 knows about what happens there. So why are you going to say there's a surprise? The only surprise would be that something different happens.
Yeah, and the only different is she can live, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's either going into that maybe with Aerith with the folding steel chair, or Zack's going to appear stop Sephiroth. Because we know the Wisps are back.
It's not even the same game at that point anymore.
It's really not.
It just isn't.
Yeah, there was a fan theory a few years ago that went around 4chan, and ever since Remake came out, it's like, yeah, this seems to be pretty bang on.
I mean, the only thing I can think of, and maybe we should timestamp this, is it plays out like it's supposed to, but that Zack is there to see it and just creates this new tension and just anger between Zack and Cloud where you didn't think there would be anything like that.
Or Cloud dies and Zack becomes the main protagonist.
Oh, snap.
Hashtag not my Final Fantasy VII. Good Lord. Now we're just like
throwing shit at a wall, see what will stick.
Right.
It's Nomura. What else do we expect?
Hey, check this out. Kingdom Hearts news that I'm sure will be totally welcome. Here's some image of Kingdom Hearts missing link advertised on the Kingdom Hearts social media accounts. So this actually came from Twitter, I believe, right? It was a banner put up on an old Kingdom Hearts mobile game Twitter account that has been repurposed by Square Enix for Kingdom Hearts missing link. Now this stuff is up. So there you go. If you know, that's totally the best way to draw attention to your mobile game that's coming out is to take over the abscond with the Twitter account of your previous Kingdom Hearts mobile game that's closed. Whatever.
Good times.
Although there is some
Crazy
good news.
Nomura strikes again.
Maybe some good news for those of us that have longed to at least get our hands on Dragon Quest X. What do you got, Flynn? What do you got for us?
So, Dragon Quest X offline has received some traders in other Asian territories. So, as we know, Dragon Quest X currently is Japan only.
Mm-hmm.
It is being shared through Nintendo, I believe, as a publisher. At least that's what the rumors indicate. But this could mean, through Nintendo's publisher, we might see this come to the West on Nintendo platforms, but we may get it. We may get to experience the Dragon Quest that we just haven't got.
You know what? I don't even care if it's just Nintendo platforms. It will definitely be one that I play somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Let's go do Love It or Leave It. Love it or leave it is the way we end every episode of the Relic Grind here. It's where I give you something Square Enix related. Could be something they've done, something they've said, a feature in a game itself, or just anything tangentially related to Square Enix. And you tell me whether you love it, want more of it, leave it, never to be seen again. And of course, I'm going to ask you, Targ, love it or leave it, specifically the London FanFest Keynote.
Just the keynote.
Just the keynote. Love it or leave
it. Having woken up at the butt crack of dawn so that I could react to this with my boy Piers, there was nothing truly excited. I was excited for him for the 11 announcement. I was flabbergasted that they were going to do another limited job, but overall, most of it was like, okay, this is stuff we've seen. This is what we expected. This is the formula. There's nothing that has blown me away to like, oh my God, this expansion is going to be hype. So leave it.
You know, I think I'm going to go with you and leave it. Although I do absolutely love the Alliance raid. I'm going to have to wait so long for that I can't really, say, hey, that saved it for me. So I'm going to go with leave it with the asterisk caveat of return or echoes of Vanadeo. Flynn.
Yeah, I'm also in the leave it category. As much as I'm hyped for the game and everything else, I need to know what a story beat is. I need that hook to make me go Dawn Trail today now in my veins, the way I felt with the trailers from 16. It's just like, it hasn't captured just right.
That's going to do it for us here on the Relic Grind. Thank you so much for joining us. Chat, don't go anywhere. She's back.
Do it.
Little under the weather, but still here for your viewing pleasure. What's up, Faye?
What up? I felt too guilty about missing last week for work. I couldn't let you down this week, so I'm here, and we're gonna do it, and it's gonna be a good time. And I'll entertain you with whatever this voice is.
Are we headed back into the gates of Baldur with some threes?
We absolutely are, because it seemed spooky enough for spooky time.
I think that
why not?
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Don't go anywhere, chat. We'll shut everything down for a minute or two, relabel it for Faye, and we'll be right back. Of course, we'll be back next week with another episode of the Relic Grind on Thursday. And don't miss this Saturday, Gaming Gumbo's 100th episode. Might be an old familiar face coming by to say hello and see how you've all been doing. Until then, Flynn, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Thursdays when we got a show. Hey. You can also find me over at Twitch at Within Crisis, over on YouTube at Within Crisis Podcast, when we're able to get a podcast up and running with my buddy who's traveling in Japan.
Tark.
Go sure to YouTube, all at Tarkoth Gaming. And here Saturday nights on Ready Check Radio. We are still in the midst of God of War. We just cut off a dude's head and revived him, and that's been good time. So
like you do.
Yeah, like you do. Yeah.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there at Magic Man 1, but more importantly, follow at RC Radio, RAIDEO on Twitter, and you'll know every time we're going live with this show, Gaming Gumbo, one of our streamers like Faye, Torchwick, myself, some Final Fantasy TCG trading card game on Mondays. We're hanging out. Stay safe. We'll see you on the servers.